It's Fingerstyle first day. Hello. So consider today's a little bit different in the fact that I didn't write this riff. I've organised it and put it on the ukulele, but it's actually a song called Munich by a band called The Editors, who are from Birmingham, which is where I'm from. Fantastic band, I love this song very much, but it works out as a really good finger exercise. And where finger exercise is going to be gaining independence on your index finger and your middle finger. So basically we can continually pick melodies like this, sort of like in Fingerstyle Thursday number 4 a little bit, but this is a little bit more extreme because basically these will never stop and your thumb will occasionally come in. So you constantly have a constant melody going on. So before we even look at the riff, we're going to talk about our right hand and some little exercises that you can do to strengthen this and get used to it. Now, because the exercise is completely really based for your right hand, it doesn't matter what your left hand's doing. So let's do nothing for the moment. Let's just play opens. So what we're going to do first of all, we're going to play 8th notes just on string number 1. And we're going to use our index finger and our middle finger on the same string to play alternate. So like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now the rule of this is basically your index is always on a quarter note beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that your middle finger should always be on the and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That way, it's sort of like a secret little metronome. It keeps you in time and you always know what beat you're on. So first of all, just practice one string, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So once we feel comfortable with sort of moving these two fingers nice and slowly, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, what we're going to start introducing is our thumb on the 3rd string. So your thumb will always pinch on 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's always going to pluck on one of those beats. So that means it's always actually these two kids that pluck together, and then you just have a single middle that follows. So what I mean is you will pinch 3 and 1, and then you will use your middle finger to pluck 1. So you're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. When you feel comfortable with that, move your thumb between the 3rd and 4th strings alternately. So still 1, 2, 3, 4, but 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now let's talk about this main riff. Okay, so actually we're only going to focus on fingers 1 and 2, so the index. For the moment, we're not going to start putting that thumb in just yet to make life easier, okay? So I'm using my pinky finger for the 5th fret here, and then I'm using my index for the 1st fret, and then I'm coming down with the ring finger on the 3rd fret on the 2nd string, and then 1st fret index, and then back to ring. So we should have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now what makes this riff difficult is going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So the threes make it quite difficult on your right hand. And what I mean by that is basically you're going index, middle, index, and then you're changing and you start with your middle index because we always have to keep these basically 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It doesn't matter what's happening on the left hand at all. This needs to be completely robotic, okay? Nothing affects it. So if you watch 1 and 2 and 3 and. So even though I changed note, I started the 2nd note with my middle finger because it came on an and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 So you'll find that when you change your left hand, your right hand the index finger might want to start again and jump it. And that's the main thing that we have to kill, okay? We have to keep really, really on this hand. Index, middle, index, middle, index, middle, index, middle, index. And that's the way it needs to be. Okay, so from a theoretical point of view, the next part is easy, but from a muscle memory point of view, it's horrible. Basically, your thumb is going to pluck on every 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means every time your index finger plays a note, your thumb will pluck. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's the riff and that's the concept, okay? But between each sort of group of 3, it feels a little bit different on your left hand because we're sort of going pinch, middle, pinch, middle, pinch, middle. So that in your brain feels like middle, pinch, middle, not pinch, middle, pinch, if you understand, because it's a group of 3. So when doing this riff, I would tackle it actually every time you change to the left-hand note, stop. So I'd tackle the first note and I'd go, okay, pinch, middle, pinch. Repeat that, and then pinch, middle, pinch, pinch, middle, pinch. Okay, so let's take this really slowly. We can either count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, or if that hurts to count and play because it's really difficult, put a metronome on, but just make sure the click is on every 8th note. So you're not counting 1 and 2. You want 1 and 2 and 3 because it's much easier for your ears to hear that. Let's do this nice and slowly. So we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, which is sort of pinch, middle, 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 pinch, middle. Whoa! Now obviously when that riff moves down to the 2nd string, both fingers are there. Okay. Right, the second part is a little easier, and thank God, because I've only got a minute to explain this. Let's go. Right, chord-wise, you have a G minor / C. So I recommend putting a G chord together, move it up 3 frets, so you're at the dot, and then remove your index finger. Your second chord is a G minor. Go back to your original chord that you had there, but basically, so G, up 3 frets, but keep it as a G. And then back to G minor. Now the pattern here again is we're going to be alternating on this string 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, but our thumb will be alternating between strings 3 and 4. So for example, on the first chord we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. My thumb alternates between the 2. On the G minor it's the same, but it's a little bit more difficult because we have to switch melody strings. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Your B flat will be the same, and then we're back to the G minor. Take it slow.